All right, let's move on to the New England Patriots, who had 9 picks in the first 5 rounds, 7 in the first 4, and spent the first one for the second year in a row on an offensive player. Last year it was Sony Michel in the first round. This year with the final pick, N'Keal Harry.
You jerks.
And N'Keal, we jerks because the Cardinals had the next pick, and we wanted to keep him here in Arizona.
Yeah, I will say I'm okay with it because at least you kept N'Keal Harry fantasy relevant.
N'Keal Harry, a winner to me.
Huge winner.
Big time.
With how many wide receivers went to questionable landing spots as rookies, N'Keal Harry ends up in New England with a plethora of opportunity. You have Julian Edelman, no one really on the outside. Hogan is gone. Gronkowski, a red zone threat, gone. N'Keal Harry could have very solid
N'Keal Harry could
impact.
have 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, and N'Keal Harry, he's, people have pointed out how good he is from the slot. And if they're losing Gronk, who's running from the edge or in, that slot area, they could end up deploying him downfield often like they did with Gronk. I think it's a great landing spot for him. I also think it's a good landing spot as far as for the player more than a lot of people do, for Damien Harris, the running back out of Alabama. But that is not good news to me for Sony Michel. I've looked up the splits between Sony Michel when Rex Burkhead was active and playing and when Rex Burkhead wasn't, and they are almost double. I mean, when Rex Burkhead was gone, Sony got a ton more work. Obviously, Sony has the knee issue.
Did you contextualize those for when Sony was
so I realized.
Yeah, I don't. Go ahead.
So I realized it was rookie season. He's still getting into the flow of things. So later in the year, they're using him differently with or without Burkhead than they would have.
Was that Blurkhead?
Blurkhead. But the point is,
Blurkhead.
Paul Blurkhead, mall cop.
no!
But the thing is I think Damien Harris comes in. How much were you excited for Rex Burkhead last season, the season before that?
The season before that, last season, moderately excited.
But you were talking about how.
No, you calling him a mall cop.
You were talking last season
He
about
blurked
how
all over.
he was a red zone option, and he was very good in the red zone, and that they would use him in replacement of Sony. I think that they're going to have a good 1-2 punch with Damien Harris and Sony, but that's not good news for the people like Andy. You've been all about Sony up until the draft. I don't know if it's changed for you or not, but you were talking Sony as pretty much a low-end one.
No, it hasn't changed for me, really. The confidence they showed in Sony on their path to a Super Bowl last year was what I needed to see. My excitement for him was based on that. I don't read much into the splits, one, because Burkhead has been very inconsistently available to the Patriots in general, and two, because rookie running backs should take time to be involved, and he was hurt.
But do you read into a third-round running back?
When you got 7 picks in the first 4 rounds, not as much. I think Damien Harris is a really good player, Mike. You and I both like him.
Yes, he's excellent.
That being said, I think you have to have depth for Sony Michel. Sony Michel was banged up last year. He was hurt multiple times.
You had depth. You had the mall cop.
Blurkhead?
Oh,
Who
Burkhead's
wants
never been
Blurkhead?
healthy.
He's on his Segway.
He has never been healthy.
Look,
because he doesn't use the Segway enough.
Can we get a petition that Rex Blurkhead is allowed to use a Segway on the field?
Remember when he was Goathead? Now he's Blurkhead.
I'm not sure there's a worse name than Blurkhead.
There's not.
When I say it, it makes me really sad.
Yeah, you feel stupid.
Damien Harris is pretty good.
This podcast sucks.
All right, any other winners and losers you want to call out from the offensive side of the ball?
Well, I mean, Brady, because he gets to kill Harry, but not enough that I want Tom Brady anywhere near my fantasy teams.
Hey, want to have a cup of coffee with me? Click subscribe. We'll hang out. We'll do it together. Make your team the best.